has already seen more than 1,500 confirmed cases of coronavirus and 26 confirmed deaths. Now, the numbers dropped over the weekend, but Alabama could have the highest per capita death rate in the country and the fourth highest total death count. Currently, there are 1,952 cases and 49 deaths. You can also see how that breaks down. Now, over the weekend, Alabama Governor Kay Ivey finally issued a shelter-in-order place. Joining us right now is Roy Johnson, a columnist with AL.com. Roy, you wrote a column saying better late than never and that we need to pray. There was so much pressure, and here's one of these Republican governors, red state, just like Tate Reeves next door in Mississippi, like Ron DeSantis in Florida. They were taking so long, and it was as if they were waiting for more people to die to go, oh, I guess we better go ahead and do this thing.
A week before she finally told Alabamians to stay at home, Governor Kay Ivey sort of blithely said, we're not California, we're not Louisiana, we're not New York, when actually we were worse than some of those states when it comes to corona cases, positive cases, and deaths per capita. And over the next few days, it became very apparent finally to her that the state needed a stay-at-home order. We had an order here in Birmingham, led by the city council and Mayor Randall Woodfin a week prior to that, a shelter-in-place ordinance that dramatically limited the number of businesses that could be open, that was very specific about restaurants and bars doing takeout, and said exactly for the most part. I mean, there was some glitch early on regarding what you could and could not do in terms of going out, and your guests have already outlined that. It took a full week for Governor Ivey to issue a similar order, and there's a lot of reasons why. I mean, she said herself that 160 plus cases overnight led her to do it, but there's also a perception that Alabama is two states and that sitting in the Capitol, it was easy early on to dismiss the coronavirus problem in Alabama as a Jefferson County, Birmingham problem. The county and certainly Birmingham are the most diverse cities in the state. 70% of the population of Birmingham is African American. A significant number of citizens in Jefferson County are African American, and that was where the largest number of cases were occurring. So my suspicion is early on it was easy for other parts of the state to say, hey, that's Jefferson County's problem, that's Birmingham's problem, when in fact it was only because of limited testing in other areas that we were seeing such low numbers. And now that disparity is starting to be closer, it's diminishing, and it's clear that this is an Alabama problem, not just a Jefferson County problem.
Well, what's so stupid and idiotic is that it's not like Alabama sits at the top when it comes to health stats.
Anything. Health status, we have some of the largest disparities in pretty much any ailment you could name, from birth rates with mothers, to diabetes, to cardiovascular disease. I mean, we rank near the bottom in just about everything. So one of the things that Dr. Selwyn Vickers, who is the dean of the UAB Medical School, that's University of Alabama at Birmingham, said is that these kinds of crises reveal gaps. And I'm writing a column that will appear tomorrow that basically where he says that this crisis has revealed how we've ignored populations for so long, and that those populations, the populations that are hit the hardest by these health disparities, are the ones that could ultimately define us. If we start to see the types of numbers and percentages coming out of Alabama that we're seeing in other large cities, and there's no reason we shouldn't, it's going to be clear that African Americans are going to suffer disproportionately in Alabama, as they are in other cities, by the COVID-19 virus. You might say that there aren't as many high-rise buildings here, but my column also focuses on the challenges from public housing. And public housing where there's dense housing, where there's often overcrowding, could really be a petri dish for incubation for the novel coronavirus. So there are a lot of concerns about what may happen in the next couple of weeks. And as your earlier guest said, testing in those areas is almost null and void, and certainly less than in other areas. So people are keeping their fingers crossed and praying that residents will heed the warnings. There were concerns that they weren't. Someone said that it was almost like 4th of July at some of the public housing communities where people were out grilling, they're out with their families. Everyone, please listen to the authorities. Please heed their warnings for social distancing and keeping gatherings small. This is not a vacation. It's not a coronacation, as I call it in my next column. This is real, and it's incumbent upon all citizens to heed the warnings, as well as on our officials to make sure that we have all the data we need to know whether this is, in fact, affecting African Americans disproportionately to others.
And I certainly will hope the black preachers in Alabama are not going to be holding church services this week. I know it's Holy Week. I get all of that. But far too many of our people could be greatly impacted by people having church services. And so hashtag Easter at home or hashtag Resurrection Sunday at home for all those black preachers there in Alabama. And if your church is having service, don't mean you need to be there. Simple as that.
And there are plenty of churches that are having virtual services. Some have not been as virtually and technologically capable as others. I know my own church, Rock City Church here in Birmingham, is very technologically savvy, and we've been doing virtual services for over 3 weeks. Pastor Mike McClure Jr., who many people know for his hit song Big, has been very, very tech forward. There are resources on the website, resources available through YouTube and Facebook to help people, to guide them through coronavirus. And he's also offered to help any pastor, any church in the area that does not have the capabilities of recording their own sermons to come to Rock City Church and utilize their technology to record sermons. And so this Sunday, we definitely hope that pastors will heed the warnings. We had a church here in rural Alabama, in a county that is about 40% black, and a predominantly black church, that had 10 cases of coronavirus positive tests come out of it after having service on March 8th, where they celebrated a pastor's anniversary. Now, 10 of those members are affected, and the church is almost empty just because of people finally taking precautions. Now, March 8th was before the warnings came out, but it just shows you how fast this is penetrating our community and using churches in order to do its dastardly work.
All right, then. Roy Johnson, AL.com. We appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
All right, sir.
All right, folks. Again, we've got to keep our folks abreast of this. Remember last week we told you Sam Jackson had done this video for the folks with Jimmy Kimmel. Which pretty funny. It was pretty funny, and I had reached out to Sam to get a copy of the video, and so look, this was for anybody, but this is really the case for black people when it comes to this whole issue of shelter in place.
Stay the fuck at home. The Rona is spreading. This shit is no joke. It's no time to work or roam. The way you can fight it is simple, my friends. Just stay the fuck at home. Now, technically, I'm not a doctor, but motherfuckers listen when I read a poem. So here I am, Sam fucking Jackson, imploring you, keep your ass at home. If you want things to get back to normal, don't panic. Just use your dome. Wash your hands, stop touching your face, and stay the fuck at home. Motherfucker, it's no time to gamble. Look around, you're not at a casino. Just stay the fuck home as if your name was Trenton Quarantino. Sure, you can still see your friends. Use the motherfucking app on your phone. But unless you just ran out of groceries, please stay the fuck at home. Thank you for doing your part to flatten the curve, because that shit is steep. And now that you're home, please feel free to go the fuck to sleep. The end.
All right, I know a lot of us may get a laugh out of that, but we need to abide by that. Seriously, over the weekend here in Washington, D.C., these people are all out at the wharf for some damn reason, out here enjoying themselves, like Roy said, thinking this was like a corona vacation. And then finally the people at the wharf shut that damn thing down. I mean, I just don't understand what people are doing. I mean, people are congregating out, they're getting together, having parties and stuff. Let me explain to you. Black folks are dying. There was a black bus driver in Michigan who had complained that a woman on his bus was coughing. That bus driver today is dead. Dead as a result of this. We have seen musicians, we've seen artists, we've seen healthcare people who are dead because of coronavirus. Also, I really need people to chill the hell out with all this other nonsense I'm tired of these conspiracy theories. I'm going to deal with this with our panel in a second. But, oh, man, the same thing as the flu. No. You have not heard medical professionals dropping dead because of the flu. This thing is real, and we need to understand it. First, we talked about Alabama. Now, in Maryland, there are 4,045 cases of COVID-19. 91 people have died. Now, these are the breakdown by county. Prince George's County. We always talk about, the wealthiest county for black folks in America. Guess what? 916 cases, leading the state, 23 deaths in the state. Fam, I want you to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Roland S. Martin. And don't forget to turn on your notifications.